That ugly money. That ugly money. Yeah. Say it's that ugly money.
This is the Ugly Money Podcast. It's about the process of success. Everything between your first dollar and your first million. That's ugly money.
Welcome to yet another edition of the Ugly Money Podcast. I am your host, Ugly Money Nietzsche. This episode being brought to you by Goliath Phallus Elixir, the #1 all-natural male enhancement product in the country, in the world, and in the stratosphere. Men on average last 2 to 3 times longer while using Goliath. So go to the website, GoliathXXL.com, to get yours today. If you've ever wanted to go from zero to hero, you want to go from teddy bear to grizzly bear, you want to go from gummy bear to big black bear, go to GoliathXXL.com. They got the new Trigger XL daily supplement that you definitely want to try. I have an extremely special guest for tonight. I already know that this is gonna be one of them one. He's been a professional athlete. He's been a businessman. Been a Billboard topping rapper. Philanthropist, entrepreneur, and hustler of hustlers. His anthem has swept the world. One of my favorite songs of all time because I live by it. If you ain't got haters, you ain't popping. Y'all show you like what time of Rico Richie? I try to give you that DJ Envy intro.
Man, what? I felt like I was about to come out into a boxing match.
Hey, man, you
you need to be a ring announcer.
We got to give you your flowers,
Yeah,
King.
that was fire. I appreciate that.
I have taken that song and lived by it for over a decade.
Yeah, for sure.
And every time that I feel some negativity happening, I just reference back to your record and be like, oh, if you ain't got haters, you ain't popping. I guess I'm
You got to
popping.
remind yourself.
You know what I'm saying? And it's so applicable in all facets of life, whatever you're doing. Be like, oh, you hating? Nah, I must be popping.
Right. I know exactly why.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know exactly why that's coming my way, why you got that energy over there.
Man, listen, man, you wrote that one. you wrote that one.
And it's crazy because you say you've been living it for the past 10 years. I've been living it my whole life.
Amen, brother. Amen. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back. Who was Rico Richie before Rico Richie became the Rico Richie that we know?
Like you said, man, I played sports, you know what I'm saying, my whole life, you know, pretty much. And I got to a high level and, you know, got distracted by the, you know what I'm saying, the choices in the streets and the friends and, you know, all the distractions that you could possibly have, you know what I'm saying, during that period of time. And, you know, ran into a little bit of trouble, you know what I'm saying, I couldn't get myself out of. And, you know what I mean, ever since then, I've been trying to dig myself out of the hole. And,
Respect.
You know, perseverance, you know what I'm saying? You got to have perseverance. You got to have grind. You got to have dedication. You got to have relentlessness, you know what I'm saying? And so I just used all of those, used all of that energy, you know what I'm saying, and built myself up a situation, you know what I'm saying, with some key people, you know what I'm saying, along the way to make sure I leverage these relationships to help me out, help out along the way, and we built 4110 Metropolitan Parkway.
Amen.
You know
Slow down, Rico.
Oh,
Slow down.
my bad.
Slow down.
My bad. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we gonna get into everything.
Yeah, 4110.
And we not cutting out nothing.
That ugly money.
We're not editing anything.
That ugly money.
We gonna let that fly.
That ugly money.
Football star. How does a football star get into street activities when he has a promising football career? Like, give me that dynamic.
Well, back then, man, you don't have NIL deals. You know what I'm saying? And for me, you know what I'm saying, playing football don't erase what's going on at the crib.
Hey, boy.
You know what I'm saying? So it was already something that it was something that was going on naturally inside of my life, you know, throughout my life. And so those things kind of never really fell away. Basically what I had to do was, like, during that time period, I had to figure out, and I did it. I had to figure out who my friends and who weren't my friends.
Amen.
And you got to figure that out fast, especially when you got a high level of notoriety, right? Because during this time period, I'm on my way to the league, and I just had somebody just pop up out the blue from my past.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't heard from this dude basically since middle school, damn near. You know what I'm saying? But Facebook came around. This is right when Facebook came around.
Yeah.
Social media came around, so it was easy to get in contact with people from your past. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, he hit me or whatever like that, and, you know, we had a close friendship when we was, you know, younger or whatever. So, yeah, I'm hit me up. I'm in Atlanta, sent me his number. I hit him up, you know what I'm saying? What's up? You know, I'm at this point in time, I'm already used to hosting.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I done hosted the top recruits in the nation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you come to Atlanta, that's the thing people be talking about, all the strip club, man, Magic City. Like, you come to Atlanta, you come to Georgia Tech on a visit, and you move around with me. We going to Platinum, we going to Magic.
Oh, you going to the real? Yeah. You going to the real?
You know what I'm saying? We during this time period, it was what was over there off of Marietta Boulevard? What was that?
Peaches. What you talking about? Strip club? Not 112, is it?
Body Tap.
Body Tap. Yeah. Hey, I remember that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's because Body Tap done turned into a whole bunch of different.
Yeah.
But during that time period, you know what I'm saying? You going out with me, we moving around. You know what I'm saying? Like Calvin Johnson, that whole recruiting class when they came. Man, them boys, man, you know how many people came committed on their visit when Calvin Johnson came?
Wow.
Man, 20 players woke up the next morning and said, I'm coming to Tech.
So, in essence, Georgia Tech would have the new recruits go out with you to kind of seal the deal.
They would put them with the other players, and then I was like the player recruiting coordinator.
Right.
So the recruiting coordinator would come to me and be like, hey, listen, this is what we got going on. I need you to make sure that you coordinating all of them and making sure that everything goes the way that it needs to go.
Right.
Make sure that we get our guarantees that we need to get. So I'm already in that mode, in that motion. So when
This is why you're still a player.
Yeah, this is why I'm still a player.
Wow.
Like, everybody came, like, you know, I'm the manager. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm everybody's cousin. I'm everybody's uncle. I'm everybody. You know what I'm saying? You get your car towed, you come to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to get in the club, you come to me.
Yeah.
You trying to skip the VIP line, you come to me. You want a throwback jersey, you come to me.
Right.
You want the new J's, you come to me.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm already in that mode. You know what I'm saying? I'm the big dog on campus. You know, I'm starting cornerback, whatever. So I'm already in that mode. So when my man hit me, I'm not thinking about no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So he hits me, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, let me make sure that you accommodated. Long story not so long, you get on the phone with me. Hey, you know, I need you to help me out, man. I'm stuck out here. I'm already in Atlanta, man. I got this situation going on. I need you to help me out. You know, we grew up together. I know you can help me. Whatever.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm going. You don't know. I'm going to the league. You know what I'm saying? I'm already meeting with agents and all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So my mindset, I'm going to the league. He's like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, man, you know, guilt trip or whatever. So I'm just trying to figure out how do I leverage a childhood relationship and keep myself, you know what I'm saying, clear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, in the clear. So what I wound up doing was I wound up letting him know, hey, check this out. I'm not on that, but what I can do is I can goddamn hook you up with one of my partners, you know what I'm saying, that might be able to help you out. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm helping two people out, whatever, I'm out the way, they ain't got nothing to do with me. So long story not so long, it comes back. This man, he working.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I don't.
It's set up
It's
the
like
whole time.
so basically, whatever's going on here is he's sitting down at a table trying to think about. He's sitting down at the table trying to think about, oh, who can I over, and it's not gonna come back on me where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So let me. I see my boy doing his thing in the football. He in Atlanta. He's outside of the territory or where I'm working from, which was, you know, he was in Cali at this time. He's outside of that territory. He ain't gonna know what's going on. He's sitting down at the table. He's telling them all the list of the people that he could go through. So of course they like, oh, you got a college Division I athlete in your phone? You know what I'm saying? And so that's how it happened. They like, oh yeah, we gonna give you extra credit for that because now you gotta think about it like this. these people want their names in the headlines too.
For sure.
You see what I'm saying? From a content standpoint, content always been content. You know what I'm saying, when it comes down to it. So if they want to deliver a sensationalized news story, well, we got the star starting cornerback in Atlanta, and they gonna sensationalize the story, not knowing that when he came, I was just like, man, bro, you know, really, I'm not really on this. You know, and I never even made no introduction or nothing.
Right.
But they came and they sensationalized the story.
So you think it was like more of like a publicity stunt?
It was a publicity stunt because there was never anything done. There was never any work. You know what I'm saying? There was never any play being made. You know what I'm saying? There was never any exchange of money. There was never any introduction. And the way that they wrote me in was because it was a federal case. It was a conspiracy. So because I had knowledge of the reason for the introduction, I couldn't wiggle out of it because I had intimate knowledge of an illegal deal or whatever that was going to happen. And so basically that's how they wrote me into it.
No, that's you know, we saw that we've been seeing a lot of these high profile cases come up dealing with, you know, athletes, dealing with rappers, and just people of notoriety. And you have to look at it and be like, well, is it really some crimes that are being made, or are people just digging to try to get a headline? You know, because you know, these officials, they trying to go viral too.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Is like I'm, you know, I believe like you probably referencing the Diddy case.
Right.
Well, this looks like a state case. This looks like a domestic violence dispute, abuse type case that's being formulated into a federal trafficking case. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So they're taking the statement and utilizing the pictures in the videos of violence.
Right.
They're charging you in the eyes of the people. They charging you in the eyes of the people as a violent, you know what I'm saying, controlling.
They putting some extra on top of it.
Right. But you're not being charged for that. They're charging you for the Mann Act, which is basically transportation of prostitution.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's funny that they call it the Mann Act because the Mann Act originated from a black boxer during the time he was a championship boxer.
Yeah.
And this is how they even created this case. He was a championship boxer, and he happened to be dating a white lady. They weren't married then at the time, but they crossed state lines. He crossed state lines with the white lady. They got married, and then because that was illegal too, they hit him with the Mann Act, which was basically he forced her to cross state lines. You know what I'm saying? It made her seem like and look like she was a prostitute.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So that's how they developed the Mann Act. So that's what he got charged with. He got charged with something that they made up, the federal government made up back in the 1920s to basically corroborate Jim Crow law. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, them folk play dirty too. You know, I think a lot of people don't even realize just how dirty the system can get. You know, when you ran into those legal troubles, it was said that you went into a slump. You stopped working out, which eventually led to a hamstring injury. Do you think that the physical injury was a manifestation of, was the physical part of the situation why the career didn't work out, or was it the mental anguish of everything that you were dealing with?
So people like, even with the Kyron Lacey situation that just now happened, and he wound up committing suicide, right? The mental fortitude that you have to have, especially when you're taught violence. You understand what I'm saying? Football is a violent sport, right? CTE is real. You know what I'm saying? So we are taught to be warriors. We are taught to be alphas. This is what we know. This is what we do. We trying to knock a head loose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every chance and opportunity that we get. So we have that mentality, right? When you work your whole life, right, to attain a certain level and achieve a certain level, because at the end of the day, when down here it's like a pyramid. Down here you knocking heads off, heads off. The heads that you knocking off when you get to a higher level, right? These are trained as too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you getting credit. You getting real credit. Like when you get to this level, you getting real credit for taking the head off. You understand what I'm saying? No diddy. So when you get to that point, you walk around with your chest out. So you at the point of fruition to get millions, to change your life, to change your family's life. And I said this about the rap when it came up again for me about the rap, because this was the first time I lost millions. You got an opportunity to have generational wealth and change the life of you and the people that love you around you, and that gets taken away for basically a publicity stunt. You know what I'm saying? Was I wrong? Yes. Did I know I was wrong? No. I thought I was living by a certain type of code by helping my partner out, and then guess what? I'm helping my other partner because he gonna have the opportunity to put some money in his pocket.
Right.
So I feel like I'm living by a code.
You were just connecting the dots.
I'm just connecting the dots. I didn't know that was illegal, but it is. That's the important part about it. If anybody's watching you, I go and I speak to the youth about this. You said a philanthropist. I go and I speak to the youth about my story. You got to know and understand the law. You got to know and understand how to protect yourself with the law. The way that you protect yourself with the law is with a lawyer. You got to step into these situations, especially as far as the community goes. If you know you got a high-end asset, right? Now we got NIL, so you can look and see the high-end asset. But if you got a high-end asset, right, that's in the streets and in the hood, you need to figure out how to protect this asset. You see what I'm saying? And the number one way to protect this asset is by getting this individual some type of legal protection.
Sure.
Because it's coming up. We see these players, it happens time and time again. It happened to me. We see these players going to parties and these girls is coming out of these parties with their feelings hurt because they done messed with this other girl instead of them, and they coming out the party saying, oh, he raped me or whatever like that, and they saying it so loud, and it takes away their opportunity to make it to the next level. Same thing with this car accident. Well, how did y'all bring attention to the situation? Y'all brought attention to the situation because you bring up Kyron Lacy just because his Charger drove through the picture? You just trying to bring attention to the case. You want some notoriety, and so you ruin somebody's career.
Dirty game.
And situation because they have name recognition because they're affiliated with a program that has some recognition. You know what I'm saying? It's coming. They're gonna do it. They've repeated this process so many times. You know what I'm saying? So when the girl comes out, she's yelling it loud, rape, she's crying rape, or you know what I'm saying, they crying, oh yeah, a vehicular homicide, they crying that part out loud, right? But guess what? When it's found that they wrong, they retract the statement with a whisper.
That ugly money.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, they like to apologize in private.
Yeah, they
make the accusations very
real
public.
quiet.
Yeah.
And that's why I respect Kyron Lacy's lawyer, because he went on a whole run because he wants to bring light to this. That wasn't loud enough. That's not loud enough, my bad. This man took his life because of the mental anguish that a person goes through when they lose something that they've worked their whole life for. You got to understand, at 20 years old, 21 years old, most adults don't know what that kind of loss is because they're just getting into the money or getting into what they're going to do with their life. When we play as football players or basketball, we know this when we young. We trying to go to the league.
Sure.
So we are literally intentionally working our whole life to put ourselves in a situation like this. So it's not like he didn't know what he was working for. It's not like he didn't know he was meeting with agents and he was a projected first, second round pick. I was a projected first, second round pick too. You know what I'm saying? That's millions of dollars on the table that you leaving on the table. Basically, just so somebody can get their notoriety rocks off. You know what I'm saying? And then they only apologize with a whisper. So we got to go into this situation knowing this is how they play the game. You know what I'm saying? We got to put ourselves in a better situation to protect ourselves and our communities and the assets that we have in our communities.
You had said that losing the NFL wasn't the worst part of the situation. it was the anguish that it caused your mother with her peers at work. Explain that.
That's the if there was something that didn't sit well with me, was that my mom had to go to work and move around in the community with the type of things that were being printed in the newspaper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because even our local newspaper, they came back and said, oh yeah, the police departments, we had a criminal investigation out on him even when he was in high school, basically doubling down on, you know what I'm saying, we already knew this was gonna happen. This was a part of his character. You know what I'm saying? And my mom, still being in that community, she didn't deserve that, because y'all are taking a story. Y'all don't really know the story. Y'all sensationalizing the story, making it seem like it's drugs and guns. It was never no drug. None of this was even, we sitting here talk, even when I talk about it out loud, man, we talking about an introduction.
Wow.
We talking about, hey, my boy, we grew up together. Let me introduce you to my Pro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Hey, meet my boy Pro over here. My boy Pro over here is the plug that you ain't never, he gonna change your life.
That is.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with me, but he could change your life. You see what I'm saying? I'm over here balling. I'm already looking at millions. You know what I'm saying? But you get penalized for that because you don't know ahead of time.
There it is.
That ugly money.
Speaking of introductions, this is a good segue.
That ugly money.
Our street correspondent for Ugly Money Podcast has just arrived.
That ugly money.
The most dangerous voice in Detroit.
That ugly money.
The only man
That ugly money.
that has shut up and shut down.
That ugly money.
Men that don't shut up and shut down. I'll show you love one time. Dawgface! What's up, my brother?
I just left my jeweler.
You just left your jeweler?
So we got some respect on.
Ha!
That ugly money.
Respect.
Said his watch just got back from Switzerland.
That ugly money.
Respect on.
Ha! That little paddy wagon.
Yeah. So I just left my jeweler. He was supposed to replace the stone, and he forgot to put. You see this right there?
Yeah, I see.
Come on, man. I just got it. I just got it for there.
Rich.
I bet you see you tomorrow.
That ugly money.
What's happening with you, bro?
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
pat it more.
Hey, man. You know, a little paddy wagon. I gotta get mine fixed, man. All right, man. So, we got Rico here. We got Dawgface here. We're gonna get into some high-level street conversations, and I thought it was appropriate that you be in here on this because you have high-level street conversations. Rico, we gonna start getting to the meat and potatoes of things, and I'm gonna let Dawgface do what he does best. So, when Tampa Bay cut you, you said that you did not try out for another team and went straight back to the streets. What was your mentality in that time?
Man, like I'm telling you, at this point in time, I'm a trained. You know what I'm saying? I just took a loss. You know what I'm saying? I already got a relentless mindset. You know what I'm saying? I can't use my college degree. You know what I'm saying? So wow. I go and I try to use my college degree to get jobs. I'm getting turned down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm labeled, I'm a 21, 22-year-old, highly motivated, just was looking at the fruition of millions of dollars. So my mindset is I got millionaire mindset. I got millionaire work ethic. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, man, I'm already tainted. You know what I'm saying? We finna figure this out.
Hey, I know how to go get some money.
Yeah, we finna figure this out.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really good at math. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm really good at outworking the next motherfucker.
For sure.
Those are two things that I'm highly talented at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can brag about myself on. I'm really good at math. And for 100%, I'm not finna let somebody outwork me.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm taking that mentality with me back because, like I'm telling you, the love for the game, once this was taken away from me, the love for the game was lost with me sitting and watching everybody, you know what I'm saying, get their opportunity to see their situation manifest.
Do you feel like your situation, were you robbed of your opportunity, or was it a self-inflicted wound?
It's a self-inflicted wound if I know and I still do it. And in this situation, I didn't know.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I really wish that I could have the accountability that I need to have, you know what I'm saying, on this subject, but I really can't because I didn't know.
Didn't know, you had no idea.
You know what I'm saying? But I can't sit in front of the judge. I can't sit in the courtroom and tell the judge, Judge, I didn't know. Judge don't give a damn about that. Judge see a young black man that grew up in the projects.
That's it.
You know how many young black men the judge sees a year? How many young black men that grew up in the projects?
You're a docket number. You
know how many, they see 4, 5, 6 of those a day. You see what I'm saying? And so they got this thing called a pre-sentencing report. They got somebody, a probation officer type person, and a pre-sentencing report. They do an interview, and you do a questionnaire, and they get all your history, and they figure out, you know what I'm saying, how you grew up and your parents and divorce, and then they catalog all this information, and then once they come back, oh, well, he came from a broken family, dad on drugs, you know, grew up in a poverty, mom on welfare. Oh, okay, yeah, he's guilty. He grew up in the circumstances that we're talking. I'm just speaking on how the world looks at us.
Right.
He grew up in the circumstances that creates sociopaths.
I've always said that black men are guilty until proven innocent. We almost got to prove our innocence. And basically, we're already guilty once we walk in there. And we have to fight out of that mud to just even prove our innocence to get a fair crack at things. Now, how did your relationship, your life in college, lead to your relationship with the Morehouse guys, the Dream Team? Who are these guys, and what do the names P. Will, Ali Mansour, Herb, and R.I.P. Cello mean to you?
Man, R.I.P. Cello, man, I really wish that my brother was here. During that time period of 2015 when Poppin' came out, that's my right hand man. At this time, he's doing security for Walker. You know what I'm saying? So he's one of the head men of Brick Squad security, and you know, he's one of the people that's like my best friend. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody that when I'm on the road, somebody that I could talk to.
Right. Him
and Soto, somebody that I could talk to. The person that really brought me in on Dream Team, somebody that I call a family member, Tori, TK Entertainment. He brought me, you know, when we met each other, it made sense. You know what I'm saying? We were family that can call each other family, but we not blood related, but it's family, and we both mean it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way that it was. But during this time period, man, we was popping.
Yes, sir.
That's where popping comes from. Not the if you ain't got no haters part, but we were literally popping. You know what I'm saying? And me and him, we still had these conversations. You know, it's just one of them. He was just one of those guys. Like if I didn't knock her down, he knocked her down, and that was it. And
great time.
We had every bad. We gonna run it.
I've been there before.
Every bad one in the city, bro.
Yeah.
Every bad one in the city, bro. It's either gonna come across my desk or his.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how we ran. You know what I'm saying? And so that when you run like that, it makes it easy. Everybody want to pull up to your functions and what you have going on, and so that's what we did. We took that platform and we enhanced it. We did shows, you know what I'm saying? We got into the music industry, you know what I'm saying? We have another friend, JP, who is actually right now Ludacris's road manager,
right,
with Disturbing the Peace. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot of spin-offs from the Dream Team, you know what I'm saying, that are ingratiated inside of the music industry, you know what I'm saying? And then I just brought, because none of these guys was really from Atlanta, so I brought the street Atlanta energy.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? That was going on during that time. So the guys that was, like I said, going to the strip club.
Right.
All right, I know y'all going to the strip club and going crazy over here, but come over here, let me show you what this like over here too. So I go over there with them and do that. They come over here with me and do this, and it just all worked out because money is being made. You know what I'm saying? It's just a great time. You know what I'm saying? It's so much money being made during this time. Ain't nobody even. You feel me? We not even thinking about it. We just. You know what I'm saying? We just kicking it.
There it is. Now you had an in-house producer, an engineer by the name of Havar Rockamore, and since then he's blown all the way up. Have you kept in contact, and is he the first producer you might think about tapping in if you were to jump back into the music?
Yeah, my boy Jamar, he from Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Javar, he from Memphis. It's funny. My boy PJ is the one that introduced me to him. Man, he came to Atlanta on a prayer. You know what I'm saying? He bought him a ticket. He came with one bag, and you know he just came to the studio. He was humble. You know what I'm saying? He came in humble. He came in ready to work. And he did everything that he needed to do to earn the position that he's in right now. Right. You know what I'm saying? More so for me though, Squat, from East St. Louis. Squat was the producer of Poppin'.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I've already the music that I've came out with, Lambo Dreams is produced by Squat.
Shout out Squat, man.
And also Loaded. Is produced by Squat with also what Go Grizz? Yeah, with Go Grizz.
Just like Go Grizz.
Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, big shout out to those guys, man. You know what I'm saying? Like 4110, man, we sat over there and we created and curated a sound. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many different producers that came out of there, multi-platinum producers, and you know what I'm saying? Grammy-nominated producers, you know what I'm saying? Like we
and Grammy-nominated artists.
And Grammy-nominated artists.
We talking about the 410 Metropolitan Loss. 4110.
Yep. Yes,
and Future, Thug, Bankroll.
Now, Future never came. I can't say that. Future was the only person that never came. Even though one of my best friends growing up was best friends with him, he never came. But Casino always was over there.
Shouts out Casino.
Street was always over there.
I think he's still locked up. Free Casino, man.
Scooter was out. I think he might have got out.
Oh, he got out.
But Scooter was out. Scooter was always over there. You know what I'm saying? And then those are just the rappers. You know what I'm saying? But as a natural movement, you know, as far as Free Band Gang goes, Free Band Gang was just. Future was the rapper and the voice of Free Band Gang, but Free Band Gang was just a whole conglomerate of, you know, street that just loved each other and got, you know what I'm saying? It was just a crew. We just was around each other every day. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we moved. And so when the clubhouse was built, you know, it was just a natural migration for everybody to come, you know what I'm saying, kick it over at the clubhouse. The clubhouse, 4110 Clubhouse, man, listen. Man, that was a good time too. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it got rated and it said that you lost millions. And it was a place where numerous superstars came in the building. When you look at the superstars who came in, do you feel a sense of pride of what you created? And or is it resentment that they didn't protect the house that you built for them?
I don't really get involved with like thinking about what another person should have done. They ain't in control of that. I'm only in control of what I'm in control of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I have to answer that question, I'm gonna go with pride because I know what it took to build that. You know what I'm saying? I'm an infrastructure person. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at things, I'm looking at, okay, what can we do with the infrastructure of this space? How can we leverage these relationships? How can we leverage these contracts? That's what I mean by generational wealth. If I was ever put or placed in the opportunity to where I had access to the bag, it was gonna be over with because I immediately know what to do and how to move this money, how to move this money around, and how to leverage all the things that we need to leverage in order to take this all the way through to the top. You know what I'm saying? And so missing out on that was major. But I'm definitely proud of what was built.
For sure.
I'm definitely proud of what we didn't do, even though what people are gonna say didn't happen. I'm proud of the way that everybody that represents me and what we had going on stayed where they needed to stay, and that's nowhere in the view of anybody's interrogation room.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? In nobody's view or anybody court live stream and nobody view of getting up on the stand and doing anything as far as having a conversation about indicting somebody else in potential and putting somebody in a potential position to go to prison.
Free game
I don't
alert.
care. I don't care if you spinning or not. I've never, ever thought about being the type of nigga that could get up on a stand in a courtroom and sit next to the judge in cooperation. I'm just not wired for that. Some people, they make excuses like, oh, well, I did it, but. No, you did it. No, you did it. You know what I'm saying? It's easy. This ain't even hard. We complicate conversations that shouldn't be complicated.
Selective.
What is snitching? What is a rat? You get up on the stand, you sit down in an interrogation room, and somebody gets time behind it. You are a rat. You are a snitch. You did it in exchange for your freedom or a piece of your freedom. This is not even a question. But no, what's going on here is it's an excuse. Oh, well, this dude got all this money, so we gonna sweep this conversation out the rug. This dude got all these millions and millions of followers. We gonna sweep this conversation under the rug. This dude has really good sounding music, so we gonna sweep this conversation under the rug.
Well, let's get into the then.
That ugly money.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I said before,
That ugly money.
this episode will not be edited. If any of these questions that we're gonna get to some real shit. If any of these questions you don't want to answer, you can by all means say next question. But I get the feeling that you're not gonna say that too much. Dawgface.
Oh, you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Rico.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to Rico.
Damn, he looked at you like you tried him.
Nah, hell nah. See, I have a filter.
Yeah.
This man does not.
Oh, well, you about to learn real soon. I don't either.
I'm learning. I trust me. I already know. I'm gonna go get me something to drink in a second, but it's about to get hot.
That ugly money.
It's about to get hot.
That ugly money.
I'm gonna ask my last question until I go get me something to drink, and then I'm gonna let Dawg, because Dawg got some things to talk about. You were brutally honest about the Young Thug situation. You said that you ate those charges, not necessarily out of friendship, but because you were the one on probation and that you understood the real street rules. If it's in the room, it's yours. Do you think the younger generation confuses loyalty with stupidity, or is eating a charge simply the cost of doing business when you have a criminal record?
It's the cost of doing business. Once you make an agreement to step your foot over into this lifestyle, at that point in time, you are subjugated to the rules of that lifestyle. Point blank, period. It's not even a negotiation. You know what I'm saying? Don't dip your toe over here in this street business, because what's gonna come out on the other side is you gonna put yourself in a situation put yourself in a situation to be in to handle a type of pressure that you never felt before. And when that pressure come, 9 times out of 10, if you're not built like that, you gonna fold. You know what I'm saying? And so me and you, we've already had a couple of different conversations about this, because everybody wonder, Rico Richie rap. No, I ain't. But first of all, I don't even call myself as a rapper, but I'm in the rap category. I make rap music, so I understand that, and I accept that when it's said, especially when I'm having a conversation with a civilian. So I accept that. But you don't see me aligning myself, looking to align myself, even back during this time period. You didn't see me taking pictures and posting pictures with rap. I'm not that type of person, because guess what I know? Guess what I know about rap? Rap got something to lose. All these rap, they got something to lose. They got these contracts, they got show money coming, they got label money coming, they got a fan base that they need to take care of. So if the charges ever come, if they dip their toe over here and the charges ever come, they gonna be the first one to fold. Because they don't live, as soon as it happens, they're gonna make the excuse. They're gonna make the excuse to bend to whatever it is, the narrative that they need to satisfy whatever it is that they trying to make happen for themselves.
You're describing modern day Atlanta right now. You know that, right?
It's the rap game, period.
Yeah, but see, we gonna exclude everybody. We gonna focus on Atlanta because Atlanta is where you made your bones at, and Atlanta is where you built one of the most successful records in the history of hip hop. And Atlanta is you was with, and you sacrificed your career and life
Atlanta
for.
is my backyard.
Yes, it is.
It is, but it's not just going on in Atlanta.
Of course not.
And so what we're sitting here talking about, especially in my situation, is this: me not exactly being a rapper when they came. My conversation, and you know this is verifiable. My conversation with the police or the investigator, when they trying to bring me in, I don't even see an interrogation room because my conversation is non-conversation. I'm already built like that. Police, detective, investigator, whoever you are, federal officer, you got me right here in this situation. You're putting cuffs on me. I don't have nothing to say to you. You're going to have to do your job. I'm not going to tell you nothing. You're going to have to do your job. You're going to have to finish out what you started on your own with no assistance from me. And then if you have anything to say to me, I don't want to hear about no deal. I don't want to hear about I could get myself out of trouble. I already know that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Y'all can't get me out of no trouble. And the only person that can work the deal in order to actually get myself out of trouble, which is called immunity, the only person that can work that deal is a lawyer. I can't work an immunity deal on my own. That's paperwork. That's paperwork that has to be specifically transcribed to read a certain type of language in order to give you protection and freedom from whatever because it's not just about what you do about right now. Immunity has something to do with what's going to happen as far as repercussions go continuously and the ripple effects that happen continuously after immunity. So
listen, let me ask you a question. So you see how articulate and how eloquent you were in explaining all that?
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Right. So you have a conversation, and you kind of like summarize just the legal predicament that young black men and women or anybody who finds himself in legal trouble will find himself in. So if that is the case, and if what you're saying is how you thought then, not this is 10, 15 years ago.
Correct.
This is 10, 11 years ago. If that's how you thought then, and if that's how you operated, which I know for a fact that's how you operated, how is the legacy of Rico Richie, how is it being so compromised? How are the people who you once had friendships with or situationships with, how are they now taking your stand-up and trying to switch it around and make it look like that you anything other than what you just described? Because what you just described, that was not the normal thought process of a young black man in the ghetto, because most young stupid and they can't even put that kind of thought process together. So I want to know, why in the do we have in Atlanta playing with your name like they're playing with your name? What is the reason behind it? Who are the people behind it? What is the motivation behind trying to paint you out to be something that you're not? And before you answer that question, I've talked to the lawyer. I've talked to the lead investigator of the case. I've talked to people who are actually there. I've talked to people who don't like you, and I've talked to people who have no axe to grind and they have no dog in the fight. All they did was tell the truth about what actually took place. Why we got these in Atlanta trying to focus on you and trying to tear you down so much?
Man, I'm just going to tell you how one of my big dog partners told me, I can't explain crazy. I can't explain it. I can't go inside of their mind and rationalize and make that shit make sense. It don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? especially with what they know, especially with what they know, especially what we know. This is small. We talking about rap shit. You understand what I'm saying? This is rap shit that we talking about. Rap is being talked about in songs. Rap shit is being portrayed in videos. Rap is portraying the hood and the community as a place like it's a war zone, like all you see is walking around and riding around with straps with extendos. Man, I drive through the hood all the time and I don't see nobody walking around with straps and extendos. That's rap.
Okay, so listen.
That's what feel like they need to do in order to
do what?
To justify whatever it is that they're presenting as far as their behavior goes.
Okay, so.
And so for them, if that's what all they want to do is try to build up their reputation.
So let me, I need you to answer my question.
I don't know. I can't explain.
My question to you is, why do we have who are certified street or who are standing next to certified street?
I'm glad that you said that.
Why do we have these because playing with your name like that?
Because they're not certified street.
How do we get to
there's not a certified street
who that
can say that I have ever sold any characteristic of telling.
Okay, so listen, let's just bring everybody up to speed. Over the last 48 hours, I have been thrust into the middle of
No Diddy.
Yeah, I have been thrust into the middle of, I don't even be like, oh, no Diddy, because I ain't gay. You know what I'm saying? I don't even be saying pause, no Diddy, none of that shit. I'm just a plain spoken. In the last 48 hours, I have been put in the middle of members of guys who have gang affiliation. I've been put in the middle of just an explosive combination or explosive series of events where you have motherfuckers on the ground who trying to paint a picture of you, trying to say that you're not solid. In the course of me being put in the middle of that shit, I've learned more about YSL. I've learned more about the history of Atlanta. I've learned more about Crip shit, blood shit, and just real. I've learned more about that than I ever really wanted to know, right? So now, and then I'm talking to lawyers, and I'm talking to investigators, and I'm talking to people who were actually there on the ground with you. So you have saying, well, Rico, he bold business, and you got who are making phone calls trying to get other people to verify the story they trying to tell. At the same time, when I'm hearing this shit, I'm learning this shit, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Pro, and I'm talking to dead ass don't like you, right? So as I'm judging this shit from a outside perspective, and as the information starts to come to me, I'm learning that the who don't like you, who have the most to say about you, right? I'm learning that these are being backed by some of the most powerful people in the music business in Atlanta, some of Atlanta's hip-hop elite. So I want to know, because these is nothing, right? Who really doing the chatter ain't nothing, but they're claiming to be backed up by the most powerful in the music industry in the city of Atlanta, at least.
I'm gonna say what they are. They're disgruntled employees.
So we got to talk about that. See, because so the only way to stamp out the noise, the white noise, the only way to really stamp it out is to address it head on. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna address some of this shit head on. I've talked to and they said, well, man, Rico, he surrendered the surveillance footage of the studio that led to the arrest of a PeeWee Roscoe as it specifically relates to the shooting of Lil Wayne's bus. I had to tell me that. So I asked these for the paperwork, and I preambled the conversation with, hey, listen, man, you know the consequence of putting that bone on the, you know the consequence of saying a bogue or saying a snitch or a rat, and you ain't got the documentation to prove it. If you was in the prison yard, pop your ass, chase you off the yard. That's one. Number two, there's a unique problem going on here in Atlanta where you have who, according to Loon from It's Up There podcast, Loon is one of the main champions of all these from Atlanta who have been caught violating the same principles and laws and ordinances of the streets that they have been preaching and promoting for the last 10, 15 years. We know now, according to 21 Savage, right? We know now that they have been covering up the misbehavior and misgivings of some of Atlanta's top hip-hop artists and hip-hop managers and label owners, all for one reason and one reason only, and that was to save face for the city of Atlanta, right? And to present the city of Atlanta as something that it wasn't, and to hide the fact that you got all these goddamn rats around here. So my thing is to you is, I gotta ask this question. With all these who been told on shit, with all these who been shook trial, with all these who we saw Fanny parade in front of the world on TV, all these who are the biggest rats on the YSL trial, they all free. So why, and they all free, we watched them tell, we seen them tell, we heard them tell, we saw the interrogation footage, and we saw these take a stand and point the fingers and tell and cooperate with the police and the DA's version of the story. So why am I ignoring all this rat, but they trying to focus on you, and ain't no paperwork to justify none of this they saying? How we get from all these who certified stomp down master splinter to the same who trying to push this fake ass the streets movement are still using their underlings to try to get at you? Why do hate you so much?
Well, because I'm an outlier. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not moving around with the motion of what's going on, and I'm not just going, and I'm not just agreeing, and I'm not just substantiating what everybody else is doing, and I got my own voice, and I got my own mind, and I got my own process, and I got my own integrity and character in a way to take care of myself and my family, and I take pride in standing on my 10 the way I stand on my 10. When you're that person, you an easy target because you an outlier.
Let me translate that for you, right? Because the average dumb as a box of rocks. So translation is, because you ain't no rat and you ain't no fanboy of these rap, right? And you ain't no eater, holding that, they don't like you.
All of these ain't rats. All of them aren't. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple of them. It's a couple of them that verify.
Hey, listen. At this point, Atlanta.
Okay. So look.
Hey, listen.
I see what you're saying. So what you're saying is once you start to try to protect rats.
That's what I'm saying. And at this point, Atlanta and all these.
Fuck Atlanta though.
Okay. So let me say it again. Let me say it again for you. At this point, all these whole ass rap who are trying to pick and choose and practice selective politic and selective gangsterism. All these
but the Atlanta part.
Hey, listen. If the city of Atlanta, if the real stump down street, the rap don't run shit.
That's
right?
Saying to
so
you,
listen. Here, no. That I'm telling you. So the who have been presented as the representation of the streets, it just so happens are some of the biggest rappers and some of the biggest producers in the city. It just so happens. You can't.
No, but it's not just so happens though, because that's what I'm trying to tell you. Everybody has been led to believe that the rappers are street. No, that's not the case. They're rappers.
So here's a problem though. The problem is, let's educate the youth then. Let's have that conversation.
Right.
Listen, first of all, to the untrained ear and the untrained eye, young black men and women see black men and women who obtain a degree of success through music, right? And these same people who have obtained success through music, they have presented themselves as the kings of the streets. And with the YSL trial, we see these ain't just rappers. These really street, or else they would have found themselves sitting in Rice Street some motherfucker. So there's been the fusing together of rap artists and street. If that's not the case, you wouldn't have had YFN versus YSL. And what I'm telling you is, in the city of Atlanta, who are at the top of the rap pole, at the rap totem pole, these are also just coincidentally so, these are the toughest streets. The world don't know nothing about little boo-boo old Cleveland Ave. The world don't know nothing about that. The world thinks that 21 Savage, Young Thug, YFN Lucci, the world thinks that these the biggest gangsters in the history of this city. And so we're going to run with that. We ain't going to take it from them because that's what they presented. They presented the gangster image along with the music. So I'm asking you, why aren't more niggas who know your situation, who have power and influence, their voice means something? It's the reason why Big Bank interviewed Thug. It's the reason why Big Bank interviewed, what's the other name? 21 Savage, right? And you don't have J Bone and Lil Money Mook Mook and these over here off. You ain't got them. You got rap on the biggest platforms in the world explaining to the world about what's going on in the streets. So we can't differentiate the top rappers from what's going on in the street because the top rappers in this city have transformed themselves into superheroes from a street perspective. 21 Savage is a voice of reason for the streets. Young Thug was a voice of reason for the streets. The reason why we call him Gunna a rat is because Young Thug allowed it to happen, and then he came out and said it himself. And we now know through the leaked jail phone calls that he was behind the scenes orchestrating all this shit. So I'm telling you right now, these in Atlanta, they are guilty of covering up rat-like behavior. They're guilty of doing and saying whole shit. And they're also guilty of playing games with lives like yours. So in the last 24 hours, I've talked to lead investigators. I've talked to your lawyer, who's one of the most powerful lawyers in the country. The same lawyers that some of these other rap had during their trials. And I seen this shit with my own two eyes. So when they're saying, oh, Rico Richie, oh, he got caught with a pistol in
4110, man.
4110.
Yeah.
Right?
4110.
They're saying they got the paperwork. So when you go to pacer.com, right, there ain't no firearm that was recovered from the studio. Right? That's one. Number two, trying to say Rico Richie is a snitch. He told us some shit. Hey, listen, why did I get charged with the weed then? I accepted responsibility for it. I could have easily said that was Thug or Roscoe or this or that. None of that ever happened. I took responsibility for it, but playing with your name. That's the shit that we got to correct right now, and we're going to correct that shit right here, today. And for any from Atlanta, you rap.
Oh,
You ain't got the courage and the intestinal fortitude to step forward because y'all had something to say when 21 Savage, I mean, when what's the nigga name? When Kodak Black did the song with 6ix9ine, y'all called him a rat, even though he ain't never had no rat on his name. Y'all called him a rat and said he was bold for even affiliating with. Even though he got $1 million to do a 16-bar verse, wherein which in the verse he dissed the.
right.
Y'all held him accountable. Y'all tried him and charged him in the street court of law.
Yeah, because what's going on here is they moved the goalposts to be in favor of.
Who moved it? Not the street nigga. Because I know street. Hey, listen.
I know what you're saying.
Hold on, bro. Let me just say this. Let me see.
6ix9ine.
I know street Atlanta nigga.
Yeah.
Right?
We talking about
the street niggas do not agree with the shit the rappers are doing and saying.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
But the street niggas they can't talk because they are street. They in the street.
It's not that they can't talk. They don't have the voice because the rap got the motion. You saying they popular.
Right. All right. So
popularity.
But listen, I know street from Bank here.
Nobody
I know
what they got to say.
Yeah. So my whole point is
they're not a recognizable.
That you just make my point for me, Rico. My point was when you said, well, the rappers ain't really blah blah blah. The rappers have presented. They have taken on the mantle and they have jumped into the garb of the street. So all know who are not from Atlanta proper, all they know is these who have presented themselves to be the biggest killers, gangsters through rap lyrics.
Break this down, right? I'm gonna break this down like a fraction. This is easy, right? So once somebody calls themselves a rapper, right? Because let's stop saying the streets. That whole movement and whatever. I
don't subscribe to that shit.
Let me just say this. Let me say this. So this the streets. What the problem is what we need to be saying is street credibility, not the streets. Street cred. Because what happened is that once you make a decision to be a rapper, When you 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 21, 25, once you make a decision now to be a rapper, what do you have to have? You have to have a resume. Why do you have to have a resume? Because street cred said so, right? So you got a whole bunch of that are talented in the booth, that are very creative when they hear a hard-ass beat. Now they say to themselves, okay, I'm talented. I'm able to go in here and play with words better than everybody else. What am I missing? I'm missing street cred. And because the pressure is so high on street cred, you can't just be a rapper and be talented and make money, because the labels have tricked us and fooled us into believing that the only way that you're gonna be able to generate money from a label or with shows is from a following that is considered pure and street. That's street cred.
Well,
So
the labels
have tricked us into believing that we need the street cred. So hold on, let me
go ahead.
Let me finish.
I disagree with that though, but go ahead.
So now you got people that are ultimately talented and creative, right? And they saying to themselves, I'm from the street. I can make this look like what I need to look like. I got 20, 30 that's gonna dress up in all black. How hard is that? We gonna go to Walmart, get some all black, and goddamn get some bandanas, and we gonna goddamn make a video, and we gonna have switches and all that there.
Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you?
Because now at this point in time, Dawgface, what we have creative people who are rappers who have creative people who are managing them, right, and showing them how to follow this recipe in order to create street cred. So in order to have street cred, you gotta have it on your resume. You can't just say that you did this. You gotta be able to stamp it. So in order to say that if you saying that you slide, right? If you saying that you slide on the ops or whatever like that, at a certain point in time, guess what you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to stand on that or make it look or appear as though you stood on that.
Let me cut you off.
Talking about you hustling, whatever like that. Let me get you. Now you're painting this picture.
I got you. But listen. Let's get rid of all the Freudian shit, bro.
Oh,
let's get rid of. Hey, listen. No. I get you. But let's get rid of. I'm asking you, why do you got these who supposed to be stamped and certified, who are rappers or involved with rap and involved with the entertainment game? Why do you have these playing with your name? I'm not asking you for no Freudian, Sigmund Freud, Michael Eric Dyson, Farrakhan. I'm asking you, why are they attempting to assassinate you? Why are they using their underlings to try to attack you? What is it about you? They got these niggas so to where they feel like they got a stamp on you.
Because I know everybody's secrets.
That's what the fuck it is. We had to go way around there to get that.
I know everybody.
Hey, listen, the general public, when you talking to them, right?
But that's the thing, though. I know everybody's secrets, and I'm not them. I'm not the YouTube streets. I'm not the goddamn. I'm not a rapper.
I get that. I understand.
I'm not divulging.
Hey, listen. You listen.
That's why I can't even speak.
Hey, listen. The same who you were. Let's make this plain. The same whose secrets you are still keeping are the same who are tacitly agreeing with and doing the wink and the nod and having their underlings attack you on blogs, make comments, right? Trying to hate your character, right? The same that you are showing grace to by maintaining the secrets of their past. These same are trying to destroy you and they are disturbing your peace. So why in the are you still keeping your vow to silence on these rap?
Because that's the code. Because it's not about them, it's about me. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I'm not doing this for them. You know what I'm saying? Because the real is gonna rise. The truth is always gonna be what it is. You gotta dress a lie up.
Bro, you know, tell you something, man.
All these dudes, man, all these guys.
These winning, bro. These got the media.
They winning because they got the media.
Hey, listen. One of the biggest problems
willing to compromise. I'm not willing to compromise.
Okay, so watch this. So the current state of Atlanta's hip hop community is fractured. It's up. It's full of who once they became rich turned themselves into mafioso type. It's who use their money and they use their influence to dig deeper into the streets not to get out of it. They use their money and their power and influence to create a facade about who they were. And in many cases, it's not a facade because some of these really were square ass, got some money, got rich, got power, and started to put belt to ass. They jumped into gangster mode. They were supposed to take their power and influence and money and jump out the shit, but they didn't do that.
They needed the street credibility. That's what I'm saying. It's not but the street.
You missed my point.
Credibility. They gotta have it.
Hey, listen. If we gotta stop trying to affix and attach outside excuses and justifications for behavior. Know what the whole is.
We need to stop demanding people as far as artists. We need to stop demanding that they need to have street credibility.
Hey, listen.
Let them rap.
You just said that the record labels saw something and they tapped into something and they thought they could run with it.
I'm saying that they know how to monetize it.
Okay, so listen. If it wasn't monetizable, right? First of all, if the record labels didn't pour hundreds of millions of dollars into all this garbage, you wouldn't have this garbage being magnified and amplified to the level it is right now.
These same labels pour hundreds of millions of dollars into rock and roll. They pour the same hundreds of millions of dollars into country music.
Here's my point.
They pour the money into all these different
listen, but here's my point.
But
my point is
you don't see rock and roll people sliding on or country music.
So what that means is, listen, we know that black people up, bro. We know we are disengaged. We know we are fractured. We know that we are self-destructive. You can take anything that you think is against black people, you can remove it from the faces of earth right now, and still gonna be niggas still gonna seek to destroy and harm each other because we've been programmed going back to slavery, right? So my whole point is, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. All that pro-black shit.
I do.
I'm asking, okay, to the loop. I don't give a fuck about that neither. I'm asking you, why are these rap in the city of Atlanta, why are they trying to attack you? And let's get to the heart. All this so sweet. Flowery.
It's because they know what I know. They all know I know the secret. I know everything. I know all the ins and outs. And so because I'm not gonna join in. I'm not going to crawl and beg and say, oh, well, I gotta come over here and kiss this rapper. Listen, let me tell you how strong this shit is. If you don't with a certain rapper in Atlanta, you can't even deal with a certain producer in Atlanta.
Well, you know I know that.
The producers are off limits.
Listen.
If you don't suck this rap, then you can't get a good beat from this producer.
Well, I'm glad I got you cussing down, because you ain't cussed for the whole goddamn hour you've been sitting here.
Yeah.
At least now I got your ass dialed up to the point where you say one profane word. So my whole thing is this.
We got to elevate the culture, though, at the same time.
We ain't elevating right now. We finna put belt to ass. You can take that goddamn UCLA on over there. Right now we putting belt to ass. So I've been on the phone for the last 2 days. Right? I am basically your lawyer now. Right? That's basically what it is now. So listen, I want to send a message to the city of Atlanta's hip-hop elite. I have
the views and opinions of Dawgface are his and his alone. Please do not think that the Ugly Money Podcast or Ugly Money Nietzsche condemn any of these views and opinions. They are his and not mine. Thank you. Go ahead.
You done? Because I'm sick of your shit too. I ain't seen you in about
my boy had to put the disclaimer on.
I got something for your ass too.
I love your ass, bro.
Yeah,
God,
I got some shit for you
I gotta
too.
live here.
So yeah. So listen to this. Here, which camera is I'm on? Which one? Okay, so listen. For the city of Atlanta's hip hop elite, y'all gonna stop playing with Rico name, you. Yeah. Y'all gonna stop playing with his name. If y'all want to call a rat and call a snitch, y'all got plenty of call rats and snitches. Guess who they are? Y'all grew up with, who was on TV a couple of months ago, crying their heart out and singing the blues like Billie Holiday, and the four tops and the Temptation. All these who told on YSL and all them free. Them is free, running around doing interviews. Ain't got no pressure from them, and according to Loon, from the It's Up There podcast, according to Loon, we got to promote this the streets movement that you suck force down your throat. Y'all don't really mean that shit. You know how I know? I knew I ain't mean it. I knew you didn't mean it. I knew y'all was being disingenuous. I know y'all was only saying that shit to gaslight the culture, to get the culture to not understand and not to kind of like examine y'all behavior. 21 Savage said, we been knew Gunna was a rat. Nietzsche, We knew he was a rat when he ratted the first time. We been knew QCP, your cousin, was a rat, and we told him he was a rat, but we agreed in secret not to expose him because it was going to f up the money because so many was signing to him and he was cutting that check. In the leaked jail phone calls from Young Thug, he talking to 21 Savage, and they saying they told Lil Baby and been talking to Lil Baby for 10 years and told him he should have never signed the P because he was a goddamn rat. Now QCP know for a fact that Lil Baby was allowing these to rap him and diss him and talk about him for 10 years, but he was smiling in P face. So we got rat shit mixed with disingenuous shit, mixed with cover-up shit. This shit is like the J. Edgar Hoover files. This shit is like COINTELPRO. These have not been proper caretakers of the hip-hop community. Now, we got the same
part of the community that worries about street cred is what I'm telling you.
Hey, that's run hip-hop. That run hip-hop.
I'm saying it doesn't have to street cred.
No,
you don't need that shit.
Hey, listen.
What do you need street cred for, dog?
You need street cred to go platinum. Because without that, your ass is going double wood.
But why do you need it? Why do you need it? Why can't you just be talented?
Why
can't you just really stand on
the system.
The system.
Hey, listen. The system that exists.
You a system. You don't no kind of systems or processes. None of that shit. You want to blow that shit yourself.
Give me the system as it stands right now. They support the most negative aspects of black culture, and they try to prop up and put on the pedestal the most negative shit about us as a people.
Elevate the culture.
And no other place do you find the most negative aspects of what it means to be black, right? Being championed and promoted than you see in our music. Right now, and even in our R&B music, the R&B song is "Fuck you, suck my d." No one of these is crazy. You can't even fuck a bitch to a good love song no more because the R&B telling the bitch eat it, fuck a hoe.
Dawgface, I got a question.
Go ahead.
Why aren't Coney Island hot dogs
Them whole ass Albanians
on Coney Island's menus when you go to Detroit?
They are.
I've been to Coney.
They call it chili dogs.
That's what I'm saying. So why don't Coney Island sell Coney Island hot dogs?
They call them chili dogs.
Why would they call the restaurant a chili dog spot?
Because they offer more than just chili dogs.
Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all. That ugly money.
You see how I did that? You trying to throw it off. You sick. Ain't get away. Put the camera back on me. Put the camera back on me. Put the camera back on me.
Views and opinions of this man is only his and his alone.
So listen, over the last 48 hours, I've looked into your case. I went on Pacer. I talked to the attorney. I talked to the lead investigator on the case. You ain't told on shit. You ain't surrendered no tape. As a matter of fact, the camera system inside of your studio wasn't connected to a DVR, wasn't connected to a hard drive, so it was impossible for anything to have been recorded on it. But yet we got who stumped down street, Crips and blood, still stuck on the story and still trying to sell to the world that you done told on some shit because they say you surrendered surveillance footage of that goddamn car coming in and out your compound.
To do it because I'm not over there and I don't want to be over there. It's easier to do it.
So you telling me these doing that because you refuse to bow down?
They're doing it because they want to ingratiate themselves with the other side.
Ricky.
They want to be in the motion. If that's what I'm saying,
so
everybody.
What did you do to them? What did you do to these?
Let's say this, right?
What did you?
If we care about street cred,
what did you do?
Let's just say.
What did you do?
Let me hear him, dog.
Hell no.
Let us hear him. Let's hear him, dog.
We care about street cred, right?
What did you do?
I'm trying to explain to you what's going on. We care about street cred, right?
Why they hate you so much?
Listen. Let me tell you what.
Why they hate you so much?
Let me tell you what another word for street cred is in Atlanta. Motion.
Okay.
So when everybody everybody in the city, they're worried about this word that means street cred, it means money, it means fly, it means position. This word, this confusing ass word, motion. Everybody cares about being in that space.
Hey.
And because they care about being in that space, they're willing to compromise their morals to get in that space. I can't tell you why a nigga's willing to do that.
I want you to know that
All
I'm hearing
I know
you.
is that a can't say that shit about me.
Listen, here. I want you to know that I'm listening to you. You're telling me the reasons why motherfuckers would be willing to attack you because they want to some type of status, a position who have motion. I get it. But let me just tell you this. In the last 24 to 48 hours, I've read paperwork. I've talked to lawyers. I've talked to investigators. You ain't told on shit. But you got who claim to be stumped down Crips and Bloods and real communicating with each other. I ain't never seen a who draws anger from both Crips and Bloods. You got Crips calling Blood to try to strike you down. Shit, I ain't never seen no shit like this. It's like Whack 100. These is like a whole city full of Whack 100. Now, I want to talk to.
I'm glad you said that because Whack 100 not from Atlanta.
The views and opinions.
But it's a whole city.
You making this. It's a whole city over there. LA is like that too.
LA too. I'm talking about these out here who's trying to attack you. So here's what I'm saying. To the city,
this is going on in the rap.
To Atlanta's hip hop elite, right? Thug, Gunna, 21 Savage, whoever. I got $100,000 for you to produce some paperwork that say Rico Richie surrendered any footage or cooperate with law enforcement in any way, shape, or form. I got $100,000. Y'all ain't got to put up nothing. Y'all ain't got to put up nothing. Produce the paperwork or shut y'all up.
Man, them folk finna goddamn go and find the firest laser jet printer.
No. I ain't got to come from whoa. You got a fan case. So everything on Pacer. Ain't none of your sealed. Ain't none of your redacted. I want you from Atlanta. I got $100,000 cash. I'm in Atlanta right now. I'll produce. We can tonight. We live streaming.
We will be live streaming. They gonna see.
Okay, I got $100,000 cash for you to up that Pacer link. Not no shit you went and shout out on none of this right here. No. I got $100,000, not you, me.
I got the paperwork, so I want the $100,000.
Hey, no, listen. Listen.
I got. As a matter of fact, I got the paperwork.
Hold on. I said I had for all you Rico Richie haters. I got $100,000 cash money right now for you niggas to produce this paperwork saying that he surrendered some video footage that led to PeeWee Roscoe getting arrested for shooting up Lil Wayne tour bus. I got $100,000 tonight, not tomorrow, tonight. Make this be the first goddamn clip to go up. You some lying fake ass, y'all some eating sucking, and y'all playing game with the culture. That's over with. I got $100,000 for anyone you Thug, anybody in Thug crew, any Crip, Blood, anybody, long live Troop, long live everybody lost their life, but if representing and flying up on these banners, ain't keeping it G. Ain't keeping it G. Y'all want to call a rat? Y'all got plenty of your next door neighbor a rat. Your mans you grew up with a rat. But y'all ain't gonna continue to stay character because y'all mad at it. Y'all got a grudge against the nigga. I got 100,000. Young Thug, 21 Savage, Big Bank Black, Baby Jade. I got 100,000. Scream, any of you. I got 100,000. Oh, I got it. I got 100,000 for you to produce paperwork saying this young right here gave them police some goddamn footage. I'm gone.
All right.
That ugly money.
The views and opinions
That ugly money
of people on this podcast are theirs and theirs alone.
Listen, it's a tough conversation because
Very tough.
I have, before we get out of here, I have love and respect for a lot of people that are inside of this situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's inside of this situation, what's going on right now, all of them, everybody is not, it's not a one-way situation. It's complicated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And because of that, it's tough because, especially with Dawgface kind of being an outsider, he doesn't really know all the specifics. But I understand where he's coming from as far as the culture goes, because there's a bigger responsibility as far as the culture goes to demand that you keep the same energy. If you demand that snitches get stomped out, that rats get stomped out, if you demand that that you try to blackball Kodak, you blackball Tekashi 6ix9ine, you blackball all of these different characters that have rapped or that are rappers and that have jackets, that have snitch jackets, you condemn them, and then at the same time you turn around and because somebody is ingratiated inside of your motion, you turn around and say, okay, well, this person gets a pass because they in my motion. You're playing with people's intelligence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You playing with people's intelligence. And that's what I'm talking about as far as street cred goes. It's easy to build a street cred facade. You see what I'm saying? It's easy to have a creative imagination. Anybody with an extendo and a charger and any type of semblance of being from whatever road, you can say as long as the road is connected to another road.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm off Elliott Road, and it's somehow, some way, if I make a left and two rights, it puts me on Gresham. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Walker Avenue, and if I make two rights, a left, and I drive up a little bit, and I make another left, I end up on Old National. So it's not hard to coordinate all of this. It's the incentive for it. Why do people feel like we have to put an incentive on street cred? Why do we have to put an incentive on motion in order to listen to music?
Right.
Because that's what we talking about. This is music. Y'all just be musicians. Because you making yourself, dog ain't wrong. You making yourself look bad. You just said that this is a no-go over here, and then you come back and you say, nah, we just gonna kind of let it slide because that don't make sense.
The term a lot of people like to use is selective politicking. What's wrong over here is not wrong over here because this person may or may not have certain relationships. Do you think that that's what's going on a lot of the times is people are picking and choosing who's wrong and who's right for doing the same type of thing?
It's about the attention of the day. You know what I'm saying? That's the hardest drug that everybody is on. Attention. When 21 Savage said the streets, 21 Savage didn't get a chance to explain to why he said streets. Right. Everybody saw that there was going to be attention on the streets, and so guess what everybody did? They pulled out their phone because this is the drug, because you can instantly pull this out and go live, or you could record a video and you could post it to your followers. You could be the first one to have the profound statement that gets reposted by blog sites. And so everybody has figured out this recipe, and they say to themselves, okay, all I got to do is be the first one to say, and then now that's the race, that's the competition. Now we just saw the streets competition. We just came off of the no snitching competition. Then it went from no snitching conveniently to, oh, it's okay to be a snitch because, you know, whatever the reason is, you know what I'm saying?
No, I totally understand.
So all of these things happen, they happen in succession, and there's going to be another one. You know what I'm saying? And then the competition changes. Well, the reality of the situation, this is music. The competition is who can put out the best music.
So you're saying that artists need to be artists and stop trying.
Why can't they just be artists? If you are a street nigga and you want to be an artist, by all means, do that. We've seen it successfully happen. But it shouldn't be mandated. I don't care if whatever the imagination is of whatever it is, because this is not even a street code. This is a music industry thing.
Right.
This is coming from the music industry, not the streets. There's a mandate on music that is saying that if you are or want to be a rapper, that you have to have street cred. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. Because all you're doing is incentivizing put together a story that makes sense to the viewers. It's not hard to do that. It's easy to say, oh, I can make myself look tough. All you got to do is practice in the mirror.
Right.
Now, what's really tough is when you facing this sentence, when you facing this time, when you facing this pressure, and you stay 10 toes, and when it's a tough decision, even though I can make the justification. I could have spun and said this and said that and been right out and picked up the 100,000. What we had 10 shows for 10,000 in the email. I had 750,000 and another million over here. I just left meeting with 50 Cent. 50 Cent was gonna match whatever the offer was whenever it came down. I could have spun and made whatever excuse. Oh, no, well, my only reason for why I did what I said, I didn't say nothing. I just told them what they wanted to hear. I just really just spun them. No, hell no. I ain't got shit to say. Y'all talk to my lawyer because that's hard. It's easy to put together street cred. Street cred. What do you want street cred for? You know what I'm saying? Guess what we need? We need you to go get your credit score. Your actual, care more about your actual credit score.
That ugly money.
Yeah, and let's change the competition to that. Fuck street cred. We need to be worried about credit score because you could do more with your credit score to change your life in your neighborhood and the people around you with a high credit score than you can some fictional goddamn street cred that you mustering up with a good imagination.
Facts. Nah, I agree. I agree totally. I think,
You know, I've been on record saying that, man, as a habitual sidewalk, it is too hard to be a habitual sidewalk.
That ugly money.
Live and dwell and sleep, and maybe even eat on the side.
That ugly money.
It's too hard to be a street nigga, cause it's like, all right, you're a street. If you don't get no money, you ain't poppy. If you do get some money, then they try to kill you, or you getting locked up. And then when you get locked up, if you come home, they say you snitched. But if you stay in there, you a deadbeat. And it's just like there's no right answer to it. It's just like it's the only job that your coworkers try to kill you, the cops are trying to arrest you, and your competition is everybody's against you in some shape, form, or fashion. And it's just like that's too hard, man. Think about shit. Go work at Walmart.
That ugly money.
Sleep better.
And at the end of the day, that's what incentivized greatness is. That's what I do. I go and I talk to them about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the road right now. Listen, if go get your CDL. They paying $10,000 a month. That's $120,000 a year entry. It costs $5,000 for a CDL. We can figure that out. They got scholarships.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Electrician, once you get 3 years in. Plumber, once you get 3 years in. You got 6 figures consistently coming in every single month. Street don't even know when the next time they finna really make some money. That you got to do too much marketing.
Right.
That's what we sitting here talking about. That's what street cred is. You got to do too much marketing. And guess what happens when you market? Like what you just now said, you're marketing to the feds, you're marketing to your ops, you marketing to the robbing ass that goddamn one that's targeting your ass and trying to lock you in, whether you playing sports or any type of entertainment. You a lick. You a walking lick if you're advertising.
For sure.
And you got to have the emotional intelligence and the agility to be able to maneuver through that. 9 times out of 10, you really don't even have that, and you're not smart enough to have somebody next to you that has that could be not watching out for these things for you. Why are you getting yourself involved in this type of activity? Because you want motion, because you want to be cool? Hell no. The at home on the grind, stacking up paycheck after paycheck, 10 years down the road with a 401k, don't have no felonies on their jacket, got a whole retirement plan. Yeah, they didn't get a chance to go out and kick it and throw money and make it rain and with the baddest with all the followers, but I guarantee you this, that when they get into their 40s and their 50s, those that's popping, them goddamn going on vacation trips forever.
Amen.
Yeah. Guess what? Can fly down to Miami right now and get a yacht. You know why? Because they got credit. And what your street trying to do? You trying to get a yacht, and you got to put up $10,000 to even get deposit down on the yacht. So you got to put the $10,000 down cash. Once you put the $10,000 cash, after you pay whatever you pay out of it, they done figured out all these other different things because you got all these crazy doing this crazy. You done broke this. The people that own the yacht done figured out that they can goddamn keep your $10,000 deposit. Yeah. It's a whole finesse system. And then guess what? When you get through with that, guess what you trying to do to the civilian that's working to move on your? You trying to use some street shit to threaten them. You seen that happen with the boat rider. wanted to threaten the owner of the boat. By the time they got to the dock, who was waiting on Miami PD was right there waiting on their ass. Cherries and berries.
Now, you claim the industry is shifting money to female rappers because they safer. They don't get RICO charges and they don't get killed as often. Do you think that this is the end of the gangster rapper era, and because corporate America feels that they're just too much of a liability?
I hope that it's the end of the street credibility era. I hope that that's what it is. I hope that that people can feel comfortable portraying the images that are original to them, not trying to portray an image that you feel like is going to be able to be monetized, that somebody else is telling you that is going to be able to be monetized. Have the confidence in your artwork, in who you are and what you have to present to the world, that you can present this image and you can tell people and share with people your innermost thoughts, and that it'll come out the way that you want it to come out without trying to do something easy, like go to the hood, right, where you don't see riding around with big 30-round clips hanging out of their pockets and shit like that going. You don't see that.
Right.
But you see it in the music video. I'm not saying that they don't have them. I'm saying you don't see them. You don't see walking down the street. How many times you done drove through the real hood, and you was walking down the street and you seen somebody crying? No, for real. This is for real. When have you been drive? Tell me the time that you drove through the hood like, oh damn, I'm in a real up place right now. And you was driving through, and as you was driving, you seen drop a tear.
I ain't seen it.
Right? I'm gonna tell you what I see when I go through those places and spaces, and I grew up in those places and spaces. I see running, hollering down the street, what's up? And I see a lot of laughing and joking. People living their lives. And making the best out of, and that's what we do as a community. We turn lemons into lemonade.
You know, I got one more, I guess, indifferent question. You pointed out that in the corporate world, the biggest money is in mergers. But in the streets, everyone refuses to change. You even see it in college and the AUC. Morehouse guys don't exactly hang with Clark guys and never hang with Georgia Tech guys. Why is the concept of us joining together or a joint venture so terrifying to the street ego, and more specifically black people?
Because everybody wants credit. And it's still the wrong kind of credit. Everybody wants credit that they were the idea or the mindset. That's why I said disgruntled employees. Because they're disgruntled because they want credit. They want people to look at them. And if somebody else is over here shining and you don't have the true alpha male confidence to give them flowers,
right,
to let them know, I see you over there shining, you look good. Kudos to you for the work and effort and grind that you put in to get where you at right now. Because that takes confidence. That takes the diminishment of the ego. Yeah, but don't nobody want to do that. And so in our community, instead of mergers, right, we focus on credit, and it's still not the right kind of credit, which is our credit score. Focus on getting your credit score up to an 800. I guarantee you this. If your credit score is up to an 800, right, and you got 20 around you whose credit score is a 500, you gonna eventually stop with these because you gonna get tired.
They can't do nothing.
How many hotel rooms is that? They can't pay. They can't do it. They couldn't put it on their credit card. And guess what you gonna naturally do? You gonna naturally start to differentiate yourself with them. And guess what? Once you start to naturally differentiate yourself with them, they gonna have to make a decision. Do we want to keep up with Buddy? No, you too worried about doing it for them. Hell no, don't worry about doing it for them. The that's supposed to come with you gonna come with you, because they gonna come to you and they gonna tell your ass, hey, can you put me down with the same that gave you an 800 credit score and gave you the motion? Because guess what? If you don't give that to your man, if you got through the door and you don't turn around and give that information to your man, you a
right. You're right. Each one teach one.
Yeah, you a for not turning around and passing the game off to them. And then once you give it to them, if they don't turn around and well, that's what's going on. Everybody's trying to be in control of the conversation and say, no, credit, this my man, this my plug. I got this my credit score plug over here. Yeah. I did all this. You don't worry about and oh, you ain't having my motion.
They want to shit on them instead of help them up.
You seen that's why I was saying in the Real Life Street Star interview. Because people are fascinated with it in our community. They love it. I gotta shit on you. Then once you get on, you like, man, I don't like how that feels. Damn, I just got on. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm finna go harder. And then once I go hard on these, cause I got and I get everything I need to get, and I utilize everybody around me and everybody that was around me that helped me get to where I'm at. And once I get up there, guess what I'm about to do? I'm gonna take a big old shit on them.
that ugly money.
You know,
instead of turning around and turning them on to the information that can allow them to be successful.
I remember a time when I was a starving local rapper, and I got on a lot in the industry. And, you know, now having a certain level of success or a certain level of, I don't know, influence, I purposely make sure that I don't make the same mistakes that the people that, you know, on me did. Not meaning that I give people handouts, but if someone is thirsting for knowledge and I have the time to give it to them, I'm going to tell them. And that's the thing that really irked me when I was on the come up. I was coming to these people for knowledge and some game, and they would gatekeep. They would withhold it. They would, you know, they wouldn't. I'm like, bro, how I get my song on? You know, can I get my song on the radio? What I need to do? I ain't asked you to play it for free. What I need to do it.
And it's so wild because,
and they won't even tell you.
Because the world of Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? I know we got to get out here in a second. It's so wild because inside of the world of Atlanta, or let me say this, on the outside of the world of Atlanta, everybody thinks that Atlanta's this place where you got free reign and you could plug in and people be like, oh yeah, Atlanta ain't got no gatekeepers and everybody with each other and all that. You just said that. Hell no, Atlanta is the biggest gatekeeper. Atlanta has figured out how to with people's intelligence. You seeing it out right here in front of you. If you gotta do the sucker shit to get in the motion, that means that you going through gatekeeping.
Right.
If you feel like you got to do some sucker shit, some shit that goes against your pride and character to get over there in the motion is the gatekeeping.
Yeah, all right, you're right.
That ugly money.
I didn't have any more questions, but I got one now.
That ugly money.
And I'm gonna end on this.
That ugly money.
It has been speculated. First and foremost, let me allow me to give my one last disclaimer. I have a ton of respect for Big Bank Black. I have an immense respect for Baby J.
For sure.
DJ Scream.
For sure.
Has been an industry confidant of mine for years.
Yes.
So it's all love and salute from Ugly Money Nietzsche.
And Roadrunner. And Roadrunner. I don't have a problem with
Shouts out.
none of them.
It is speculated that certain parts of your interview were purposely edited out. Mm-hmm. If so, what parts and why?
I'm just going to say this. Because right now I'm not edited out.
Okay.
Sometimes God will show you something and put you in a certain level of put you in a certain position, right, to start your ascend and catapult you into a direction. And even though you might not think that this is where you want to go, sometimes that's where you got to go in order to learn the lesson that you need to learn that's going to take you exactly where you need to go. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I got respect for them, because I understand that that platform is there for the purposes of that platform.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? There are things that go on in certain places, like you can't expect local news to bring you the same news as Fox News or CNN. It's not the same level. It's not the same quality. So you can't expect local news to be able to compete at the same level. And so I don't expect that. And I don't expect them to adhere to the same YouTube streets rules because I don't believe that they're a YouTube streets show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so if their show is to open up their platform to get out whatever the information, if they want to curate the information, that's on them. Do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it at the time because guess what? I don't want to be censored. Well, if I don't want to be censored, then guess what I got to do moving forward? Well, do you censor on your show?
No.
Okay, so if you do, then I have the option. And so I learned that lesson. Because now, once you go, wherever you go, now you know how to move accordingly. That's on me.
I think, I mean, you know, when you have personal relationships with certain individuals, and the topic of discussion is those people that you have a relationship with, it is a very tricky situation, right? Like Dawgface comes up here, and he's speaking his truth. You know what I'm saying? And whether I agree with him, or disagree with him. This platform was designed for people to speak their truths. Right. But it's weird because at most I'm a journalist, and so that's what my core job is. But if Dawgface says something, doesn't mean that Nietzsche said something. Correct. But when they look back there and they say, "Oh, ugly money," and it's just like, well,
it's because you gave they make it. Oh, you gave him the platform, so you agree. But
yeah,
that's the whole thing about journalism. You're supposed to.
Right.
It has to get to the point to where you feel comfortable, and I just had this conversation with Pro, is that I don't want to just do comfortable interviews.
Right.
I want to go on with the people that I disagree with.
Right.
Because guess what? There's somewhere there inside of that disagreement, there's something that I can learn. There's something that you could possibly
There's
learn.
a commonality there.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think with that situation with Big Facts, it is, because I've had the same situation where I'm like, damn, I fuck with these people, like whatever. And this person, like I've had a guy like Charleston White on my show, and he's basically talking shit about everybody that I know in the industry, love in the industry, or respect in the industry. And at some point in time, it's just like, well, what do you do? Because at the end of the day, it's on my platform, so people thinking I'm aligned with it. And so I just, you know, I want to give you your chance and opportunity, you know, on this, you know, for this interview, for you to speak your truth or whatever, because my relationships with certain said people may not be as deep as theirs. And so, but at the same time, a person's truth is a person's truth, and that's what it is. So, brother, I appreciate you, man. You
yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me.
You didn't duck no shots.
I'm not ducking. I'm never going to, because that's what this is about. I represent incentivized greatness.
Yes, amen.
You know what I'm saying? Elevating the culture, because it's what you're talking about. These folks need mentorship.
Sure.
Everybody needs it. Guess what? I'm on the level that I'm on, and guess what I'm looking for? A mentor.
Amen.
Right now, I'm looking for a mentor that can help me take incentivized greatness to the next level, because it's somebody out there that has the exact information that I need in order to make this come to fruition. What I have going on can help and impact hundreds of thousands of lives potentially if it's done right.
Right, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you could save, and I give these folks the math, and we can get out of here. I give these folks the math. I don't care if it's only 11 people in this class. I don't care if it's only 10 or 11 people in this class. Because if 10 of y'all go right now and talk to one person, now it's 20.
Right.
Right?
And it trickles down.
And then if those 20 talk to another person, now look where we at. All you got to do is influence one other person. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we call an exponent.
Yeah, it's a domino effect.
You know what I'm saying? Now things the information starts to increase at an exponential rate.
Amen.
And now we got change, because I understand where he's coming. He like, man, f that ain't going. No, elevate the culture.
Right.
Give a chance to understand. Give them the language. Mentor. Oh, I ain't even know what a mentor was. Let me look this up. These kept on saying mentor. Damn, credit. I don't even know what a credit score is. Let me ask somebody what a credit score is.
Nah, man. Each one teach one, dog. You know what I'm saying? If somebody has been on the road that you're trying to travel, why wouldn't you, tap into them? You know what I mean? Before we get out of here, brother, Let these folks know what you got coming up. What can they expect from you, and where can they follow you at?
Yes, sir. Real Road Runner Richie. You know what I'm saying? That's my platform. You can get to anything from there. Incentivize greatness. We dropping music. You know what I'm saying? We delivering arts.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna pride myself in being an artist that's gonna represent everything, all these ideals that I'm talking about. I'm gonna represent those ideals inside of my music. I'm gonna represent those ideals and start inside of the depiction of my music. I'm not gonna get off of here and say and go and make a record and have, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit and say I got a problem with
On a drill.
and guess what? I'm doing it for me. You know what I'm saying? If it's successful, it's gonna be successful because of that. I'm not gonna add in all that extra because it's not necessary because I need to get some extra views. Hell no. I don't care if it takes longer.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Some of the best food that you ever gonna eat is cooked in a crock pot.
Yes, sir.
It ain't. Everybody want instant gratification. Some of this gotta be coming out the crock pot. That take time.
That ugly money.
Love and respect, man.
That ugly money.
Amazing interview. I told y'all.
That ugly money.
This episode being brought to you by Goliath Fallacy. Listen to GoliathXXL.com to get yours today.
That ugly money.
Y'all can follow me at Ugly Money Nietzsche. That's Ugly Money Niche. Remember, the bigger the dream, the bigger the risk, the bigger the payoff. This has been the Ugly Money Podcast with Rico Richie. Still popping because I got haters.
That ugly money. That ugly money. That ugly money. Yeah. Say it's that ugly money.
This is the Ugly Money Podcast. It's about the process of success, everything between your first dollar and your first million.